All right. So people were recommending that they want to see biology as our focus, at least for now, and we can mix it up a bit month by month. So right now we are in the first month of the quiet season. So early quiet, then mid quiet, and late quiet is how they would refer to it. And we will study sciences, which will get us reasoning and biology. Good afternoon, my burgeoning biologists and up-and-coming chemists. Professor Hal welcomes you back to your old classroom. This afternoon, we'll learn what I like to call the wet sciences. He gestures to his holo-projected lesson plan: biology, chemistry, medicine, ecology, and geology. You'll learn a little bit of everything, with opportunities to further study in your favorite field. If you're looking for something a little drier, try registering for engineering classes. For today's lesson, Professor Hal tells you, we'll start with a fun group project. You'll be studying the mush tree, a prominent natural resource native to Rutermna. In the ideal conditions, it can grow at a speed of over a meter a day and have a diameter of up to 30 centimeters. He stands on his tiptoes and gestures to illustrate. Your team will experiment to find those ideal conditions. You're teamed up with Tang and Cal, and are given a mush tree spore and a bucket to grow it in. The rest is up to you. Tang looks up the surveyor's notes on the holonet. Mush trees, she reads, are most abundant south of the colony in the stormy, moist regions of the subaqueous swamp. What if we use water instead of soil? Cal suggests, like they do with hydroponics. Tang nods. If they like wet weather, that might work. Selene, do you have any suggestions? So I already know what the correct answer is. Anyone from the audience care to throw out a guess? It's the unfortunateness of me having played before. Ask our parents. Probably would help, given that they, although they're mostly growing the food supplies rather than the mush trees. Bright light. So I think the problem is, so they let us know that they grow in a stormy swamp. And so lowering the pH, I think, is making it more acidic, or base. Chemistry has been. Anyway, that one's wrong because swamps are typically not lower pH, apparently. Stormy swamps also wouldn't have bright light. Singing to it daily doesn't help. Running the electric current through it is the correct answer, which you're supposed to figure out because of the storminess. Apparently. Or you're supposed to just get it wrong and then on a second playthrough, hopefully you know. I don't know. But run an electric current through it. What? Tang exclaims. Selene, how's that have any basis in reality? She looks to Cal for support and he just shrugs. But he doesn't look convinced either. Neither understand why you would want to electrocute a plant. You explain that there are storms in the swamp, electrical storms. Maybe somehow that, well... Maybe Selene is right, Tang nods slowly. It could make sense, and if it is true, we'd be the first ones to discover it. This is enough to entice Tang into most things. You attach a small battery to run a weak current through your bucket of water and drop the spore in. The next morning, your spore is the only one already growing. By the end of the day, it's already half a meter tall. And the day after that, it's so huge it hits the ceiling and you have to move it outside. Your tree outpaces all the others by a long shot. At the end of the week, Tang proudly displays an edit to the surveyor's holo notes, shows rapid growth when stimulated with a mild electric current, and is as discovered by our junior botanists. So we gained a bit of extra biology and 5 kudos. And so this is how the challenges are going to play out. When you work or go to class, you'll play a quick card challenge as the month passes. Move cards to fill the 5 panes and make the best hand you can. Yes, order matters. If your total in the circle on the right reaches the goal value, you win. Depending on your cards, some challenges can't be won, but you still get rewards for doing your best. There's bonuses for flushes, all the same color, bonuses for pairs that are next to each other, and bonuses for straights if we're moving from left to right. The more cards in a flush, pair, or straight, the higher the bonus added to your total. Cards can also affect each other and can be rearranged to find the best total score. So here's where I show off how bad I am. Yes, we are electrocuting the plant. So we'll go with, say, 0, 0, 1, 1, 4. So we'll get the pair bonuses and a couple of color bonuses. And we win. We got the 3 stars. That means that we had the best score that was possible. Your skills increase when you work or go to school, with extra skill if you win the challenge, and a kudos bonus if you make the highest scoring hand with your cards. Working also increases stress, which prevents you from working if it reaches 100. To relieve stress, take a month off to relax in the quarter swing. So yeah, we got the highest score possible, which gained us an extra kudos. We gained our 15 stress. We gained 2 extra biology from winning the challenge beyond the 2 we would normally get for just taking the class. So our biology went up quite a bit. Oh, one other thing to mention about the skills, you'll notice the 3 little bumps under each skill. When we reach level 33, 66, and 100 in any skill, we get a perk. So there's benefits of trying to rush to specific levels so that we can get cool new perks that will boost our character. Your parents have been working from first dawn to well after dinner every day. You know growing food is an important job and it's vital to get crops in the ground right away, but there seems to be something more than that. It's such a change from growing up on the stratospheric when you saw them all the time. You stay up and wait for them at night before going to bed. Though you can tell they're exhausted, they make an effort to spend time with you. I'm sorry we haven't seen much of you, little gooseberry, your dad says. Your mom watches you as she works a pebble out of her gardening tiller, which also serves as a crutch. How have you been holding up? I learned some stuff in school. I'm not going to complain about school. I'm a good kid. I'm glad to hear that, your mom says. I want you to study hard, work hard, and stay out of trouble. Your dad smiles. Professor Hal will give you kudos if you get good grades. You can spend those at the depot once it's open. You know, says your dad, raising an eyebrow at your mom, I think there's a lot to learn of different ways to learn, and school is just one of them. You can learn from working on a hobby or by helping a friend. Your mom shakes her head and sighs, though you can tell she's trying to put on a gentle expression. We both agree that this colony is an experiment, and that means we're going to do things differently than on Earth. You're old enough now to start making your own decisions about your education and future, and if that means you find your own way, we'll accept that. Your dad puts a hand on your shoulder. We'll be proud of you no matter what you do. Try talking to your friends. They may have ideas for how you could spend your time. And come by geoponics, your mom adds. We could use the help. So we've unlocked shoveling dirt in geoponics. What fun. And we've now moved on from early quiet to mid-quiet. Looks like Anemone wants to talk again. Anemone is bumping a sports ball with her wrist, trying to keep it in the air. Heads up, she shouts and bumps the ball in your direction. Think fast. We don't have the toughness to do a trick, but we will bounce it back. You bounce the ball back and forth with her, trying to see how many times you can rally and keep it going. Anemone tells you about the new Sportsball court, a proper regulation-sized court, way bigger than the little 0G one on the stratospheric. Her brother Com is coaching the junior Sportsball team this year. We gained 1 toughness. He's so great, she says. He's good at everything, especially spiking. He's coaching me to play awesome like him. You should come join us. And we've unlocked Sportsball as an option. Let's see if Dis has anything to say. Dis looks at his feet and pretends not to notice you. If our bravery was 20, we could dare him to eat a worm, but it is not. Hey, Mom. You find your mom hard at work setting up the greenhouses with a small construction crew. You've seen these plans pinned on the wall of your family's quarters for years now. These geodesic domes will house the more delicate plants from Earth, spinach, tomatoes, maybe even fruit. She takes a swig from her canteen as you approach. Looking for something to do, she asks. Remember, Selene, you're responsible for your own schedule now that we've landed. You can decide how to spend your time, so long as it's productive. She points towards the engineering wing in the back half of the stratospheric's severed frame. Professor Hal is still expecting you in class, but a well-rounded education includes practical application. You're old enough to help with the work around here. She claps her hand on your shoulder. I've got another minute. Anything you need to know? We can go through all these options. So what are you doing in geoponics? She looks down and nudges at a sprout growing between her feet. It's green, the color of earth plants. We're doing our best, she says, but it hasn't been easy. I just hope the potatoes and corn can handle the weather here, she says, glancing up at the sky. I hear it rains like hell in the wet season. She takes a long look at you, up and down. You're growing fast, Selene, but you're still too young for real farming. Instead, well, there's a lot of soil that needs to be hauled. Seeing your disappointment, she nudges you on the shoulder. Don't pout. It'll help build those muscles. You'll need them now that we're out in the real world, doing real work. Out here, we have to rely on our physical strength. She flexes her biceps. Your mom's real strong. How does she know what the seasons are like? I'm assuming they had some sort of scans of what the planet would be like before they just headed here. Hopefully. It's probably better than just random guesswork. What's happening in engineering? Hal's teaching classes on life science, engineering, and humanities. If you pass all your tests, maybe he'll let you work there in a few years. Your father thinks you're old enough that school is optional. I don't agree, but I'll be honest with you, she says, gesturing to the fields. We do need every pair of hands we can get. If you want to work with me here in geoponics, I'd suggest studying life sciences. If you don't have a good grasp of biology and ecology, I'm going to stick you on shovel duty. What can I do in the quarters? If you need a break, she advises, you can visit the lounge and see your friends. But, she warns, raising a finger, I don't want to see you lounging around all the time. We need to work hard, too. What's the garrison? Security Chief Rhett is organizing a sportsball team. You used to play, didn't you, back on the ship? It'll be different here with the planet's gravity. Of all the adults in the colony, Rhett and your mom are the most like soldiers you've seen on a holovid. For a moment, you think your mom's going to suggest something else. Then she shakes her head. You're too young for defense training, so don't worry about that yet. Just enjoy yourself and stay out of trouble. What about command? I think Seek said they needed someone to deliver supplies from the depot. They're also setting up a shop there, if you've got some kudos to spend. And of course, that's where Governor Udicott works. But you shouldn't bother her. She's a busy woman, and she doesn't have your mother's patience with kids. You try not to giggle. Your mom isn't usually known for her patience. Can I join the expeditions? Because that sounds cool. Oh, you're too young to leave the colony. It's dangerous. She shakes her head. Your father would be worried. There's so much we still don't know about the world out there. Let the adults find out. Then maybe you can join them in a few years when you're older. She gives you a stern look. She isn't going to budge on this one. For now, stay inside the walls. Okay, bye. Moving on to Dad. Hello, my little potato, your dad exclaims, smiling warmly. What have you been up to today? Just hanging with my friends. That Cal's a good boy, he says. And have you seen Anemone? She's been out by the garrison playing sportsball. I think she's spent every day outside since we landed. He chuckles to himself. Guess that's what happens when you've got enough brothers to make your own sportsball team. He breathes deeply and looks slowly around. Vertumna is magnificent, isn't it? You nod. Seasons, he shouts, throwing his hands wide. I miss seasons. Back on Earth, it got much, much colder, and the snow wasn't half as pretty as our spark snow. He sighs, stretching. You just wait until dust season. Both suns will be high in the sky, and it'll be real hot then. You'll see. We've got Mars over here. A sharp whistle interrupts your thoughts. Hey, Selene, Mars calls out to you. Come here, I have a job for you. You walk over to Mars, who's sheltering from the snow under the ship's overhang. It's so gross here, she complains. This smart snow would ruin my good clothes. At least on the ship we had climate control. Ugh. Tammy made some soy sweets, but there's no way I'm going out there in all this weather, she continues. Since you like running around in it, could you fetch them for me? All right. Good, Mars claps. She's probably just down the hill near our quarters. Mars sighs. She's scared to take more than a few steps from the door. All she wants to do is hide inside and make sweets. You want to talk more? I think probably just returning from Tammy. Tammy is staring obliviously at the sky, smiling to herself. She startles as you approach. Oh, hello, Selene, she says, putting her hand on her chest. Do you need something? I'm here for Mars's soy sweets. Tammy smiles at you. Oh, it's so nice of you to help out Mars. She's a very important person, you know. She hands you a box wrapped in a pink and yellow scarf. 1 order of mango soy sweets, made fresh this morning, she says. Please tell Mars that she can have the scarf back, okay? She used some of her kudos to nanoprint it for me because it's so dusty here, but I think I'm getting used to it now. Tammy smiles again and tucks her hair behind her big elven ears. Mars is so cool, she says fondly. Sometimes she's kind of bossy, but I know she really cares too. And we head back up to Mars. Fetch quests! Mars puts her hand out expectantly. Give it here. Here it is, or I ate them, which would give us a 2-point option. If we had higher persuasion, or even higher persuasion, we would have those options. I'm not going to have eaten her sweets, so here it is. So I gain 5 loyalty towards the colony. by being a good kid. You hand over the box of soy sweets with a smile. Marge takes it and giggles. You're such a good sidekick doing everything I say. She opens the box and hands you a soy sweet. Your tip, she tells you. Oh, and it's Administrator Seeks looking for someone to do delivery jobs for the depot, she says. I don't want to do it because, like, you running around out there, no. Just go through there, she says, gesturing to the door behind her, and tell them I referred you. So we've got a few new options available to us. Looks like Tammy still has stuff to say. You see Tammy sitting quietly near the entrance to the lounge. You've known her for, well, your whole entire life. Back on the ship, you used to play with her, were her study partner, or used to tease her. What do you think? What was our relationship with Tammy? Did we play with her? Did we study with her? Or did we tease her? Play with her. Sure. I mean, I think we personally are studious because we have the absorbent brain. Tammy doesn't seem like the most studious sort. But who knows? Tammy had the best doll collection. After her mom died, her dad used all his nanoprinter creds to print her a different doll every month for a whole year. Her ears perk up when she sees you. Oh, hello, Selene, she says, her voice soft and dreamy, like a beam of starlight. Do you want to play dolls? I sure do. No way, we're too old for that, or maybe later. I'm not going to upset her, sure. You don't think Tammy will ever be too old to play with dolls. If anything, she has even more of them now. She takes you to her quarters and brings you out the entire Spacey Stacy doll collection. A disturbingly realistic baby with real bowel movements, and two super fancy posable dolls named Lily and Tilly who can be programmed to move on their own. Tammy isn't very good at the programming, so Lily and Tilly just roll around awkwardly when you turn them on. You cover quickly by saying they must be breakdancing at a club. The two of you spend the afternoon making up stories of their rise to stardom as professional dancers, so we gained a bit of empathy and more friendship with Tammy. I think that's everyone at this point. So we've now got options for shoveling dirt, which would gain us toughness and friendship with Cal and a bit of kudos. The jobs are all going to give us some kudos. We can try and get the job available to deliver supplies, but we can't yet because we need either toughness 10 or organizing 10, and we have neither. We can still hang out just to get our stress back. Our reasoning is high enough that we can now register for engineering classes, so that won't take our month, so we might as well. Using Congruence's HoloNet scheduling system is almost a test on its own. You feel like a hacker navigating the confusing interface, but manage to add your name to the list of drop-in students. You're now eligible to join Tangent and some of the older students in engineering classes, and that gained us a bit of engineering and a bit of organizing. And we can now study engineering. And then last option for the month, we have the Garrison, where we can now play Sportsball, which would gain us some toughness and bravery and friendship with Anemone. Our toughness right now is 1. Not the strongest character. So what do you want to see? Are we going to keep focusing on our mental skills and raise either life sciences again, or start the new engineering, which will gain us engineering and reasoning, or try something else? Engineering or workout, so we can do the errands. The errands took toughness and organizing. I don't think we have any good ways of getting organizing at the moment. But we could raise our toughness, play some sports ball. I'm fine with that. Let's play some sports ball with Anemone. Anemone meets you on the court. She's bouncing from one leg to the other in excitement. My brother Com is organizing the youth team, she tells you. Kombucha offers you a high five and greeting, then tosses a sports ball your way. Let's start with a practice game to see what you're good at. You and Anemone are team captains. Pick your team. Anemone used to practice with Cal and Mars on the ship. But Tammy, you're surprised to see her here. Com will fill it in to even up the teams, but he promises to go easy on the other side. We'll choose Cal because he's our best friend. So of course we're going to want him on our team. Mind if I play goalie, he says. Sportsball is fun, but I don't really like to score against the other team. Anemone chooses kombucha, of course. They bump fists. Your next choice? We'll choose Mars, because that was the second person you want as a best friend. I'll play Spiker. Mars runs to take position. Seems like she's in it for the glory. Hopefully she'll want to share some of that with the rest of the team. You face off, 3-on-3. Let's start the game. So this is going to be a toughness challenge. Story challenges have 3 rounds instead of 1. After every round, you'll keep the cards you didn't play and unlock an extra slot to play them in. Losing isn't always a bad thing in the story challenges. So we have a goal of 27, which is much higher, but we've got 3 rounds to get it in. So I'll start with the 3 zeros, so then I can get a bonus for 3 of a kind and get them out of the way and hopefully get some higher numbered cards. No, just a bunch more zeros. We'll go 0, 0, 1, 1. Next round. Gotta get 16 points on this round. Eek. We have a lot of zeros, unfortunately. We look at our memories. All of these giggling, wondering, absorbent brain, crawling are all zeros. So at some point we need to get rid of them and get some more better memories. So if we go 4, we can get 0, 1, 2. Probably. And then we'll toss that on so we get the color bonus. That gets us up to 13. Is there any way that I can force that a little bit higher? Because I don't think putting that there... No, that's down to 10. I was looking for the 1 matching to see if that would help, and it doesn't. I think that's about as good as we're going to get. We can push through by gaining 15 stress so that we can still win. But I don't see any other way that we can win. Just didn't have the cards for it. So we're going to push through and gain the stress. Because I want to win. So yeah, we did have the best score possible. So we gained the kudos for winning. We just didn't have the cards to actually meet the goal. Cal makes an amazing jump save, but is winded when the ball hits him in the chest. The score is tied, with Anemone and Calm putting the pressure on. Then blam! You score the match point with a rad spike all the way from the net line. So we gain a new memory, and we get to our work. We gain some bravery, toughness, and a bit more stress. So our stress is getting kind of crazy now. This week you had a few more bouts of deja vu, remembering what somebody is about to say or do just before they do it. Sometimes they actually do it, but not always. Yeah, volleyball, soccer. Sportsball. This morning you were sure Professor Howell was going to trip on the uneven floor in the cafeteria and spill his plate of hash browns. You've been told Mars to watch. He didn't, though. As Professor Howell walked away, his hash browns safe for today, Mars called you a liar and a dummy. At night, your dreams are all mixed up with stuff that you know can't be real. You're chased by monsters the size of buildings, only to be saved by strange people you've never met. You're holding hands with someone you love. You're crying as you help lift a shrouded body into the colony recycler. Everything seems so familiar, but when you try to recall their faces, when you wake up, they're smeared in your memory like wet paint. But what if those things haven't happened yet, but they will someday? Anytime you try to tell someone, they think you're playing a trick, or that you're sick and need to go to medbay. You eventually decide to stay quiet about your strange dreams. Why? You don't want people to worry, you just want to be normal, or secret powers are fun. Probably one of the top 2 answers. Don't want people to worry and we just want to be normal. I'll go with I don't want people to worry. Yeah. Your parents have so much on their minds already. You have a feeling something's happening at Geoponics that they don't want you to know. You don't understand it, but when they come home at night, they look really sad. You don't want to make that worse. If you just keep going to classes and staying out of trouble, it'll be easier for everyone, yourself included. And we now move on to Late Quiet. Pang has something to say. Tangent is hunched over her holopalm, frowning and poking angrily in the air. She speaks without looking up at you. Professor Howell wants us to prepare a list of native flora with pictures. There should be a catalog on the colony holonet, but I can't find it anywhere. Plants tried looking outside. I'll help you find that catalog, or let's make our own list. Probably she won't appreciate making our own list or just telling her to look outside. I think she is studious enough to want to find the actual catalog. So we'll try and help her find it, even though she's a lot smarter than us. You launch your own holopalm and start searching the colony's holonet archives for a list of autumnal plants and animals. 10 minutes later, you find it buried under the survey logistics in the expeditions net. That gained us a bit more organizing, which we needed, and friendship with Tangent. Anemone passes by and pulls a face at the two of you. Hey, holo nerds, she shouts. School's over. Come play sports ball in the sunshine. Peng just rolls her eyes. So we'll need a break soon. We're at 90 stress. I think that means we can still do another activity. Anemone is running around the sports ball court, touching her hands to the ground at each corner. 18, she counts. 19. When she reaches 20, she collapses in the grass and checks her holopalm. I'm training, she explains. My big bro Com says I have to get my legs climatized to the planet if I'm going to be team captain like him. So every character is going to have a series of options based on whatever skill is here. So Anemone wants us to raise our toughness so that we can go through her whole track. Tangent, I think, has a reasoning session. Yeah. Study together, needs 20 reasoning. Tangent sniffs the air. It stinks out here. Not just one stink either. Every day it's a new stink. Today smells like, she wrinkles her nose, like that time the waste reclamation unit broke down. Yuck. You haven't noticed the smell. She sure is sensitive, or maybe she just likes the stale air inside the ship better. This, we already saw his. He wanted bravery to use his option. Just hanging out near the south gates, his hands in his pockets, idly staring at the ground and digging his toes of his boots into the dirt. He nods at you, but doesn't say anything. Ah, we can go outside. Expeditions. You step cautiously through the colony gates. Hey there, kiddo. Uncle Tonin blocks your way with a smile. I'm afraid Expeditions is off limits for now. It's not safe out there for kids. You'd better toughen up so you can join the squads when you're older. We had 20 toughness, we could say I'm tough enough. If we had 20 bravery, we could say I'm brave enough. As it is, we can view the map and the bestiary. The map shows the 4 locations nearby. So we have the Prosaic Plains. The Prosaic Plains lie far to the north of the colony, where the higher elevation and natural tilt of the planet makes the bromidic snow fall more regularly in every season. Though prone to sudden storm flurries, the plains are a relatively safe place to explore, filled with mostly herbivorous xenofauna. The Valley of Vertigo. The Valley of Vertigo is a low-lying trench to the east that's dense with pollen-producing trees. There's a wide variety of edible food here, both plant and animal product, leading to some of the explorers calling this place the breadbasket of Vertumna. There's a number of animals here that geoponics would be interested in domesticating. The Western Wrestling Ridge. This tongue-twisting region is the broken spine of the planet, home to both dizzying heights and abyssal lows. It's always hot and arid here, no matter the season. Traversing these steep chasms is dangerous and only to be done by those with sufficient glider training. However, there are some interesting ruins here to explore. Ruins sounds exciting. Ruin sounds like there were some sort of intelligent life on this planet. The Subaqueous Swamp. To the south is a vast boggy wilderness, home to dangerous animals and hazardous weather conditions. Exploration in this area is only be done with extreme caution. And then the bestiary, we have the float cow. These cumbersome-looking creatures are actually lighter than air due to large helium sacs on dorsal and ventral sides. Careful balancing of helium and urine allows them to control their elevation. They produce a salty, high-protein, milky substance for feeding their young that is also nutritious for humans. The Hopi, a communal creature with 2 disparate sets of eyes and 1 strong foot used for both locomotion and defense. Though harmless, these small warriors can be fierce in groups. Manticore. Highly intelligent and predatory. Their plumage changes according to the season. Their body is composed almost entirely of dangerous weapons that do not approach. So we can't go on explorations yet. Moving on. Oh, Cal's there and wants to talk. Does our mom have anything to say? Nope. Same topics as before. Your dad is reading a book, an actual book, dog-eared pages and everything, in the shade of the greenhouses. He blinks up at you when your shadow falls over the pages. Oh, hey, little gooseberry, he laughs. Do you need something? So he wants us to get our animals to 20 to continue his conversation. Cal's riding around Geoponics Gardens on his hoverboard. The board comes to a sudden shuddering stop on the rocky ground in front of you. Cal falls off, but catches his balance before eating dirt. Hi, Selene. Real ground is way harder to hover on than ship floors. There are bumps everywhere. We'll have to adapt. Yeah, Cal exclaims. Things are actually way, way better planet side. Hovering outside is rad. Look at this. He runs over to a small depression in a nearby hill and presents it like it's something amazing. Look at this. It's a skate bowl. Cool. Can I try? Gain a bit of toughness and some friendship. Sure, but please be careful. Mom says if I break my hoverboard, we can't make another one. You take turns riding around the bowl, trying to get up enough speed going down one side to come back up the other. You don't land any tricks. It's hard just staying on the board with this uneven ground, but it's still fun. Mars is over here. Ugh, I have all these kudos and nowhere to spend them yet. Mars says, sighing. Zeke says this depot store won't be open till next year. How am I supposed to show off how much better and harder working I am than everyone else? And she will need a persuasion of 20. Then back over here to Tammy. Tammy's dad is head of expeditions, which means he's out surveying the jungle every day. This morning you see her crying in the doorway as he leaves. I don't like it when he goes out there, she sniffs after he has gone. But he is so brave, and so are you. That's why I like you, Selene. So for her, we need 20 empathy. So I think that's everyone we've talked to. So should we keep working on toughness so that we can do the job and potentially start exploring? Or do we want to get back to some of the mental tasks? Because I kind of want to exhaust my stress before I actually relax. I guess we'll do some more Sportsball for this month. Actually, it's only 1 toughness. We could go shovel some dirt. Because that, I think, is 3 toughness? Yeah. And boosts our friendship with Cal and gets us some kudos. So we'll shovel some dirt. Help out our parents. Your first day in the glorious world of agricultural soil conveyance. Oh boy. Good morning, Selene. Looks like you're working for your old lady. Hope you don't expect me to go easy on you just because you're my son. She walks around the geoponics wing and points out where everything is. Your job is to move sod, compost, plants, garden waste, and equipment from one place to another. Get comfortable with this, she says, pushing a squeaky old-fashioned wheelbarrow towards you. Now, any questions before you start moving that dirt? Don't we have machines for this? The construction crew already claimed all the hover lifts, she says, shrugging. But they'll break down in a few years anyway, and we don't have the materials to fix them. She grips her forearms. We're planet-side now. Use your muscles, nature's hydraulic pistons. Where do I move it again? From over there, she points to a dirt pile. To there, she points to an identical pile 10 meters away. She sees your confusion. We had some very precious soil from Earth on the ship, full of all the nutrients and bugs and bacteria our plants need to grow. But it was lost, she sighs, in an accident. Now we have to make more from scratch using Vertumnan soil. This is part of the process. Then why not use hydroponics? On the ship, we grew most of our plants with their roots in the water, and it's true it was more hygienic that way, your mom replies. She brushes an insect off her arm, which lets out a loud squeak of objection. The hydroponic systems use too much energy. Here, we have to grow as much as we can to feed as we can the old-fashioned way. Well, then let's get to work. That's my boy, your mom says, slapping you on the back. You stumble a little. Your arms start to ache after the first half hour of work, but you keep going. By the end of the month, you feel utterly drained and exhausted. And good somehow. You feel your muscles growing already. So that'll gain us 10 stress and 1 toughness. So if we want more difficulty, there's a harder card challenge option we can choose. If we want to focus on the story, we can replace the mini games with a coin flip challenge. I'm just going to leave it alone and hope that we can actually accomplish this. Goal of 8. 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. So matching numbers and matching colors. And that gets us up to 12. Which was the highest value, so we gained the extra kudo. And we gained 4 toughness because we won the challenge. We move on from late quiet to early pollen.